The penultimate round of the Donaldson Cross Country Championship saw competitors head to the Black Mountain Hotel on the outskirts of Tabanshu for the Ford Dealer 400. A fitting host, given that the Ford racing outfit of Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst are still in with the shout of taking the title in Class SP.
Having a look at this race now, obviously a nice one for Chris.
Yeah, look, the year's been good to us. It could have been a bit better, but certainly we've had a fantastic year. Six races, 6 podiums, so we can't moan about that. And this race has been good to us for a couple of events, so really looking forward to it.
The race also saw the return of Jacques and Lizelle van Tonder.
Good to be back on the road, Jacques.
Yeah, it feels good to be back in the car. The last race wasn't so big success for us, and it feels good to be back in it and getting back into the rhythm and everything.
And of course, Lizelle, it's a fairly new car for you guys.
Well, it's the V8 now, so it's a lot faster than the straight 6 we used to have. But he was practicing a bit in it, and even I had to spin in it, and I think we'll be okay, especially after the prologue. You know, we'd have our rhythm going and everything. So yeah, I'm excited for this race.
After a shortened qualifying ensured only a 7-minute gap between the first and last cars, racing was tight. Castrol Toyota's Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy couldn't quite pull off their 5th straight win, but a 4th place finish meant the championship was theirs.
Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst missed out on top spot, 2nd in the standings and 2nd in Tabanshu. 3rd overall, Castrol Toyota's Duncan Foss and Rob Howie closing the gap ahead after their maiden win of the season.
Lying in 4th overall, Gary Berthold and Siegfried Rousseau of Atlas Copco, the SP9 finishing well in 9th place. Another Atlas Copco team of Johan van Staden and Mike Lawrenson are in 5th place. They loved every minute of the race, which saw them finish 10th in class.
Lance Woolridge and Ward Huxtable from Ford Racing couldn't quite reach the heights of their RFS 400 performance, but a 3rd place finish sees them 6th in the championship.
The men from Freiburg, Malcolm Koch and Johan Berger, overcoming a scary experience in qualifying to finish the race in 6th position, putting them 7th overall.
The Regent Racing pace setters Michael Whitehouse and Matthew Carlson overcame punctures and more to finish 8th, coincidentally the same position they're in the championship.
Pieter de Bruyn and Henry Hiku recorded only their 2nd DNF of the season when the front wheel of their Micron XL Toyota came off approximately 50 k's into Loop 2.
Rounding off the top 10 in the championship, Lo de Bruyn and Rian Grayling in the Rubicon Racing Ford Ranger.
In 11th place, Yanni Visser and Yorks LaRue in their RFS Toyota Hilux picking up valuable championship points.
Graham Leith and Christo Bosman experienced no problems on the route on their way to a 13th place finish, putting them 12th overall.
Heartbreak for celeb navigator Jack Parrow as he and Archie Rutherford from Regent Racing failed to make it to the end.
It wasn't the case for Henny de Klerk in the RFS BMW X3. He had a new navigator in Adrian Roots on day 2. They were 14th in the standings.
The 3rd Regent Racing Nissan Navara in the championship, former provincial cricketer Terence Marsh and his navigator Gerard Skitter.
Christian de Ploy and Henk Janssen van Vieren in the RFS BMW X3, having a disappointing season so far, were again victims of a DNF in the qualifying race.
Sorrel van Bullion and Philip Hasselman finished joint 1st in qualifying, while the race itself saw them finish 5th, their best result of the season in the Atlas Copco Toyota Hilux.
A leisurely drive for the Force Fuel Toyota Hilux of Luke Buerter and Kevin Durston. The reason? That's certainly problematic, but not nearly as bad as this.
Jürgen, what happened?
I think we took the wrong turn and just jumped into the water. We were happy to come out, and okay, now we try to pull it out, but bad luck.
You're going to get this guy out?
I think we can get it out, and maybe we can repair it in the night and can start tomorrow, I hope.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you.
They certainly did manage to get out, but the Regent Racing Navara was done for. Disastrous DNF with Schroeder and Abramson.
In complete contrast, while they may not have cracked the podium this time, a sensational season from Taylor and Murphy saw the Castrol Toyota pair capture their maiden championship title.
It's incredible to have done it with the race to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a bonus. You know, at least now the pressure's completely gone, and now we can just go and have some fun, you know, and try and win the last one.
Dennis, those must be nice words to hear from your teammate.
Pretty much, eh? But he drove like a champ as well, so all credit to him. He had a good season, eh? It was lekker.
So Taylor and Murphy taking the title from their teammates Foss and Howie, who are sure of finishing the season in third place, while Fis and Bardnos from Ford Racing have wrapped up second position despite one more race to go.
Let's catch up with the latest in Dakar preparations. Former champion Janelle de Villiers was a familiar face in Tabanshu as he put his Imperial Toyota Hilux to the test.
It's always testing terrain and tricky terrain over here, so it's a good test for man and machine, and yeah, we'll see how we go tomorrow. Try and get as much kilometers in as possible, and you know, see with all the new things that we got on the car if everything works correctly.
Driving alongside regular navigator Dirk van Zittewitz, the pair were afforded the opportunity to go out in front at the Ford Dealer 400. Obviously not as competitors though. The Hilux was given a thorough working over by the racing legends, putting them in good stead ahead of South America. Moving over to Class D and E, while the championship saw the usual suspects of the Horn brothers and Douglas Fear and Kurt de Villiers in action, Class E welcomed a new competitor to the mix in the form of a Ford Ranger sponsored by Car Magazine, with editor Sadir Matai behind the wheel.
Ford had this left-hand drive Ranger in their plant, which they weren't quite sure what to do with, and said to us, well, if you guys want to use it to do something, you know, it's just an idea. And I'm a bit of a motorsport and racing nut, and I immediately said to the boss, well, let's race it. And of course, the only place you can race a bakkie in SA is off-road racing. So Ford unfortunately liked the idea, and we contacted Henry Zamatin from Man Repco to build the car for us in record time, 2 weeks. He put it together, and we find ourselves here, much to the amusement and bemusement of a lot of people in the field.
Sadir and Henry did manage to finish, but far behind Johan and Warnehorn from Malalan Toyota, who grabbed their third win in a row in Class D. They finished just 9 seconds clear of championship leaders Jason Venter and Vincent van Alleman in their Trison Toyota Hilux.
Unfortunately, the big Oosthuizens, Jack and Sorrel, failed to finish, but they remained third overall in their Land Rover Defender. Diedrich Hatting and Gary Austin also recorded a DNF in their Transcore Ford Ranger, and only their second race of the season.
With Dirk Pitter and Koos Claessens already having clinched back-to-back Class C championships, they gave the race a miss, which opened the door for Doug Fear and Kurt de Villiers from Brighton Removals to finish first in class.
Back to Sadir and Henry and their Ford Ranger sponsored by Car Magazine. Sadir proving that it's certainly not an easy sport, but that said, he did exceptionally well to reach the checkered flag in a really great initiative.
Second in Class E, but more than 10 minutes adrift of Fear and de Villiers, Johan Pretorius and Justina Douth in their Toyota Hilux.
So Venter and Van Alleman leading proceedings with 66 points, 20 clear of the Horn brothers, Johan and Vanna, while Pitter and Claessens are tops in Class E. Last month, we saw cricketing legend John T. Rhodes take to the co-driver's seat for Regent Racing in the Imperial Automotive Celeb Challenge. But this time around, rap artist Jack Parrow was tasked with guiding Archie Rathford around the route. Known for hits such as Cool Ass Ecker and Dance Dance Dance, Jack was certainly out of his comfort zone and admittedly slightly nervous before the race. In an absolute first, he wrote out his instructions word for word in the roadbook so that he was perfectly prepared to rap orders to Archie. Unfortunately, a broken rear drive shaft ended the race, but Jack will most definitely be back. And your thoughts on the whole Donaldson Cross Country Championship?
Yeah, great. I must say, it's well organized and it's fun. It's just, yeah, it's just all over, I think, a great event. And as I said before, I really urge anyone on who can get the chance to come here and come experience it and come check it out. It's proper. It's really one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I don't even have words really to explain completely.
So, with one race to go, will Derek Alberts be toppled from top spot in the Celeb Challenge? Next in the hot seat, funny man Barry Hilton.
the World Golf Championships, where the biggest names in golf gather to compete for the game's most coveted trophies outside the majors. The final World Golf Championship event of the year leads a world-class field to the highlands of China to compete for the most coveted piece of silverware in the East. The HSBC Champions, a World Golf Championship event, live and exclusively on your World of Champions. Broadcast proudly brought to you by Discovery.
The Barclays Premier League. Live the league.
The 2013-2014 season, live in an HD only on SuperSport.
What a welcome. Through the line. Here's a bang. Brian O'Brien, it's brilliant. Kieran Reid. Well, they've done it with 14 men on the park. With it, confirmation of the 2013 Rugby Championship title.
While Class SP saw the championship wrapped up with the race to go, it's definitely not the case in the special vehicle category, which is extremely tight at the top. While not quite challenging the front runners, the class sees a new entrant in Derek du Toit, racing an Atlas Copco Batspec 5.
I raced about 2.5 years ago, so I was still racing, and then I stopped, and I just thought, let me come and see if I can still mix it with the good guys, and that's why I'm here.
Now, we chatted to Johan yesterday about this beautiful machine. Is it as good as he says it is?
A bit better, I think. I mean, I had to turn it down slightly. I couldn't handle all the power, so I only went on about a 60% setting. It's powerful. It's very, very nice.
Evan Hutchison and Dani Stassen endured a miserable time in Freiburg, but in a massive turnaround, the motor-white pair were brilliant in the 4-dealer 400, finishing first overall to go top overall.
Hammond and Vickard Silvalt in the Elegant Fuel Strike are second in the championship, just 7.5 points adrift.
Clint Gibson and Gary Campbell in Dirt Sport Components Porter also failed to finish, but the KZN pair are third in the standings.
Finding things a lot better was the team of Philip de Vries and Johan Viljoen. Their Conqueror Porter came home in third place to put them fourth on the table.
After capturing his maiden winner's driver in Freiburg, Quinton Silvalt couldn't quite replicate the feat. He and Father Cully's Elegant Fuel Bat Venom suffering fuel starvation problems and not making it to the end.
Daniel and Lo Zealy had a good outing in their Max's Liqui Moly Rockstar Porter, a fifth place for them.
1 place ahead of them in the race, but 2 places behind in the championship, Daniel Brooks and Gavin Gray in the Ducatis Properties Bat.
Securing just their third finish of the season, Keith du Toit and Greg Higgins in the White Star Racing Bat, enough to see them 9th on the table.
Also, only their third finish of the season, but a very good one, Neil Mayer and Philip Smith from Max's Liqui Moly Rockstar coming home in second place.
They don't compete too often, but when they do, they're dangerous. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case this time round for Lance Trethui and Jeff Minute in the LT Earthmovers Bat, who found the going a bit too tough.
Some international flavour in the form of the Agazi brothers, Eduardo and Ricardo from the DRC, a 6th place for them, the best of the season.
Experiencing the championship for the first time, Derek du Toit and Sean van Staden finished in a very impressive 7th place in the Atlas Copco Batspec 4.
Stefan van Pletsen and Jaco Pieterse did well to capture 8 points, 9th place for them in their first race of the season.
It was all about Hutchison and Stassen though, up front.
Would you rate this as probably your most impressive win this year?
Yeah, without a doubt. To win the time trial and dominate the whole weekend like that, I think I've done it ever before, and never at such a crucial stage, with 1 race to go. And then what worked in our favour is that 4 of the guys that were in the championship hunt with us have all had major problems, and 3 of them didn't even finish. So if you'd gone to the bookie, I think you would have got 1,000 to 1 on that. So I'm going to take it, and take it with both hands.
A look at the Class A standings proving just how tight the championship is. The motor-white pair holding a slender lead over Herman and Vichard Silvalt from Elegant Fuel, while Gibson and Campbell from Dirt Sport Components are just 12 points off the pace.
We've We've had a glimpse of them before, but never has the Donaldson Cross Country Championship featured so many side-by-side cars. The Regent Racing outfit provided 3, with one Polaris driven by motorcycle supremo Brian Kappa.
The car's really, it's really shown true colours in terms of durability, in terms of what it can do. So, you know, but we haven't done it in race pace, so we've got to see what this thing can really do.
Obviously, it's still early days and very much dependent on what takes place over the next 2 days. But what does the future hold? I mean, is this the start of things to come?
I hope so. You know, I think this is a foot in the door for me. There's no doubt that the two-wheeled people can do well on 4 wheels. You know, you look at Peter Hansen, you look at Alfie Cox, you look at any of those guys. I think that the transition is definitely, you know, the way to go. But who knows? You know, we're not counting our chickens. You know, we're certainly not here to try and be heroes. You know, we're just trying to get some mileage in, and you know, we're going to see how we go. We're just going to bring this. The goal is to bring the car home. I've had a stern talking to by Terence, so we're just going to bring the car home and let's walk before we run.
Brian said they just wanted to finish, and objective achieved. Him and Pieter Swart doing so in just over 3.5 hours. A man instrumental behind building the Polaris was another driver, Werner Mostert.
Do you see this as a definite future in the sport with these side-by-sides?
I think so, yes. It's going to be an entry-level class for us. We're going to try and make it affordable for the guys to get into one of them. It's an entry-level class. They handle absolutely superb. This is the kind of terrain where we want to be with these things. And we're hoping to create a lot of excitement on them. And I think we'll be a lot of people on the grid next year racing these things.
Van and his co-driver Henny Deploy were unable to make it to the end, but overall it was another great outing for an exciting new entrant to the championship.
The men who have been developing and testing their side-by-side since the Sun City 400, Leander Pinaar and Stephen Marais from Motorride in their Can-Am Maverick.
While KZN pair Gareth Woolridge and Simon Harrison were testing the Neil Woolridge Motors Polaris.
From the side-by-sides to the Ps, a win in Freiburg had put Colin Matthews and Rodney Burke from Century Racing in contention, but they're still behind the Zarco Magnum of John Thompson and Maurice Martin.
You couldn't be better placed in terms of the championship of Ps.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate this year. We've had one DNF and one we lost a wheel and came fourth, but the rest of the season's been good. We've come second a couple of times, come first a couple of times, so yeah, it's been a good year for us.
It wasn't to be this time around for the pair, but a 4th place finish keeps them on top of the championship.
Luckily for them, Matthews and Burke could only fare 1 place better, meaning the battle for top honours will be concluded at the Atlas Copco Gold 400, the last race of the season.
The stars of the 4-dealer 400, the father and daughter pair of Kutsia and Sandra Labuschagne. A fantastic win in their Zarco Light.
16 points adrift in 4th place in the championship, Jeremy Wood and Ashley Thorne in their Ace Coat K9.
Keith Makanete and Taylor Mochabalele were looking for their 3rd straight finish, but it wasn't to be. Electrical problems in the first 30 kilometres put them out of the race.
In only their 2nd race of the season, Tony and Michael Gouveia surprised all by finishing 2nd, capturing their first points of the year in the process.
James Watson and John Thompson making a rare national championship outing and acquitting themselves well of the task, taking top honours. They finished ahead of Grant Watkins and Jeffrey Gascott in a Zarco. But the team of the hour, the Labuschagnes.
You know, with the type of season we had, we won in Sugarbelt, and we came 4th in the right in the beginning of the year with the RFS race. And then we had a string of non-finishes. So yeah, I'm glad we could have brought it down.
So Thompson and Sir Martin still leading the standings on 126.5 points, 17.5 clear of Matthews and Burke, which makes for a thrilling showdown in the final race of the season. On to the regionals. The Barbispan Motor Club has a rich history of cross-country racing. It started way back in 1973, making this the 40th anniversary. Plenty of competitors, former racers and past national champions made the trip to Moritsani to experience the excitement.
Ek is baie lief, soos hulle sê, diesel vloei in my are. Ek is baie lief vir ry. Van 'n kleins af is. Marie is my kind, ry nationals. En ja, ons geniet die sport nogal baie.
We have a probably 50% chance of winning it. I wouldn't like to be too optimistic. We're here to have fun, and
hopefully by means of the sport we can bring some activity into the Northwest Province.
So this is our first year that we're competing, and we're actually competing because last year we saw that it's a family thing, and really it's for the family. We were quite surprised. I mean, the kids are around, the women are making food and everything, and the men are racing. Oh, well, some of the women are racing with.
We've seen Sorrel Oosthuizen navigating for his father Jack in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship. Now he's behind the wheel.
Sorrel, I see you behind the wheel today.
Yes, I'm trying maybe doing nationals next year, so we're trying it out, seeing how it goes. I haven't seen any results yet, so we'll see how it goes further.
So really this event's just more for testing?
Testing and seeing if I'm any good at the wheel. Yeah.
Getting experience.
Getting a bit of experience, yeah.
First up, qualifying. This area is home to the renowned Visser family, and brothers Yanni and Chris both learned the ropes here.
Dion Boysens and Sandra de Villiers using the opportunity to test the vehicle for 2014. Johan Visser and Koi Marais in their first outing of the season qualified second for the race.
Father and son combination, Johan and Johan Mitchell, second in the overall Northern Regions Championship for special vehicles as well as Class P.
Dana Vos from Fossies Racing, the son of national competitor Willem Vos, driving very well.
Rounding out the top five, Francois Conradi and Andrew van der Westhuizen, who on occasion this season raced in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship. The event is undoubtedly one of the most popular in the area, attracting fans from far and wide to witness the action.
I think it's just fantastic that we have a good barber spin event again. It lost its national status, I think, sometime in the 90s, but as people know, we're coming back into this area to see what regional racing is doing in the Northern Province, Northwest Province. Is fantastic. 55 entries at a regional race is fantastic.
Barberspan Motorklub is gestig in 1973. So ons is nou 40 jaar oud. Die wedrenne het begin met die modderwedrenne nog daar by Barberspan Hotel. En daarna die regering dit gestop weens die petrolprobleme daar in 76. Toe in 1977 het die eerste Barberspan begin hier in Suid-Afrika, die eerste off-road event gewees. En van daar af het dit net groter en groter geword tot wat dit nou is.
Racing underway at this historic event with Dion Boysens and Sidrian de Villiers leading things off.
Also up front, Francois Conradi and Andrew van der Westhuizen. A good result here will push him up the championship order.
Giel Null and Paul Slabbert currently leading the overall Northern Region Special Vehicle category as well as Class P. Giel has many years of experience and is a past national class champion. Johan Stein and Gerard Roos in Azarko currently in third spot and first in Class B, just ahead of Jaco Duplessis and Louis Bester, who are driving a 1996 Toyota Land Cruiser that made the short trip from Tosca. The car raced in the National Championship some years ago.
We're on board now with Rickers Prinsloo and Luit Kombrink. They're bat extremely fast, but they didn't have the best qualifying time, so they've had to do a lot of overtaking. Well, that didn't last too long, the pair coming to a halt. It's certainly not easy in the dust and their valiant effort not coming to fruition.
Krobus Ferrari in the WPP built by Peter Fumfai, currently leading Class B in the championship.
Nice overtaking there from Rob Reed and Bodo Schwegler in their Mitsubishi Pajero, currently the overall leader amongst production vehicles in the northern regions.
Andre Ferrari and Leon Skitter in their PHB Racing Zarko Light from Christiana, currently third in the Class P championship. Johan Pretorius and AJ Krauser, regular Donaldson Cross Country Championship campaigners, making their first appearance in the Northern Regions Championship this season, hoping to have a good run in their Hilux.
Here we have Yanni and B.S. Labuskachny and their Nissan rounding off the top 10.
And another Nissan, Peter de Villiers and Alvin van Heerden, having also enjoyed a clean run. Rudolf de Toy and Ben Sutherland, first race in their Toyota, hoping for a good finish in their first outing in the car.
Willy Velman and Henro Fourie in a Bantam Bakkie, they're no longer running a rotary motor, making the car more reliable and competitive. Definite Class Z championship contenders.
Jeben and Francois Labuschagne enjoying a good result in an older model Toyota.
Dylan Venter comes from a racing family based in Klerksdorp. His dad is Dion and brother Jason both race in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship. He's produced from exceptional motoring stock and there'll be no shortage of advice. Currently driving alongside Rowan Pierce, and the pair are going along very well.
Coming out on top, Conradi and Van der Westhuizen finishing the route in 3 hours, 6 minutes and 43 seconds, just over 12 minutes clear of Nel and Slavitt, while Steyn and Rus came third. And so caps another fantastic weekend in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship, the penultimate race over here in Tabanchu. And congratulations to the Toyota crew of Anthony Taylor and Dennis Murphy for wrapping up the championship. Also to Duncan Foss, Rob Howie from Toyota for winning the SP class, and of course Evan Hutchison and Donnie Stassen for winning over in the specials. Next up, we'll see you at the Atlas Copco 400.
It takes place just outside Western area in a town called Glen Harvey.
And it will be on the 22nd and 23rd of November. It's the final race in the Donaldson Cross Country Championship.
The Donaldson Cross Country Championship, brought to you by Donaldson Filtration Systems, a market leader in filtration solutions.